Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Constance the Reader, and today I want to do a video asking for your opinions and your help. So I have quite a few series of books that I have not finished, okay? And I would really love your opinion on if you think I should finish them or if I should abandon all hope and not finish these series. And also, and I guess there's a series of videos where it's like stomp the series or this TBR will self-destruct in 12 months or something. So basically there is not that much longer for 2022, but I want to know, do you think that I should read these next year? Okay, should I finish these or should I just give up? And then there's another, like 2 books over here that I haven't read, and I want to know what your thoughts are. Should I read them? Are they good enough that I should start? Are they like just okay that I could like kind of put it off a little bit longer? So without further ado, let's get this started. So the first 2 I want to start off with, I don't physically have. One is upstairs, I just couldn't find it, and the other, I've actually sold them. So Brent Weeks, the Lightbringer series. I never finished the final book in that series. Adult fantasy has to do, the magic system has to do with like the light, prisms of light, blah, blah, blah. People can control certain colors. So like you might have somebody who can control the color green, the color blue, and then you have like the big ultra awesome person who's the prism and can control all of them. So adult series, 5 books, got longer every new book that came out. This was such an epic series. It was world building, it was character driven, it was densely descriptive. Like when I was actually journaling, when I was reading, before I did booktube, I had so many notes to keep track with what was going on in that series because there's so many different point of views in that series that it was hard to keep up. By the end, I don't know. I got the 5th book. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I had all 4 books and I was debating on getting the 5th book because all the books I owned were in paperback. And I thought, well, let me put it off. You know, I want them all to match. But then I got the 5th book as an audiobook because I didn't want to wait too much longer. And when I started to listen to it, I felt so overwhelmed. I was like, I don't remember what's going on. I feel like so much has happened and so much more is going to happen that I don't know if I can follow it. So if you have read that series, I'd really love to know, did you finish it? What were your thoughts? Do you think it's worth picking up next year or should I abandon the series? I liked the first series I read by Brent Weeks. It was called Night Angel Trilogy, but that was a trilogy, okay? 3 books max. I was good. There were some little novellas. I think I read those too, but nothing too ridiculous. Not 5 books, okay? And even that series, I liked it, but I hated the ending. So that's the thing I'm worried about. Did the ending do a good job or was it lackluster? Should I even invest my time? Because at the end of the day, I'm probably going to have to start it from the beginning. Now, the interesting thing is all of the audiobooks are on Hoopla, but I have a feeling they're going to be like 20 hours, 24 hours, 27 hours, 36 hours. And that could just be too much. So what do you think? Should I finish that series? If you finished it, what did you think? Do you think it's worth actually finishing, or is it really not going to be that big of a deal? Should I just DNF and let it go? Next, I don't know what the whole series is called, but first book, Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. So that series of books. This one is an interesting one because obviously I started reading Truth Witch because at the time everybody on BookTube was talking about it. All the booktubers that I followed loved Truth Witch. You could not, no one said anything bad about it that I saw, at least. Took me a few tries to get into it. It was okay. Finally finished. I basically read the first book, I don't, was it a novella? I didn't know it was a novella. I think it was called Sight Witch. was very mad because I thought that was a second book. It was not. It had nothing to do with what was going on with like the main story. That bothered me, but it's okay. Blood Witch, I don't know what the other ones are called. And I thought that this was like the most recent book that came out was going to be the final book. But I went and looked and I saw there's another book that's coming out. So I remember when I first read Truth Witch, the first time I forgot everything. I actually had written down in my book journal some stuff here and there. I retained nothing when I read that book, when I went to review it for myself. So when I was like, okay, I'm going to get back into reading the series, I went and looked at my notes and I was like, wow, it doesn't seem like you like that. But I guess I was like, let me just keep buying books. That's on me. Okay, that is absolutely on Connie. I don't know. That one I'm on the fence with for some reason. Basically, Truth Witch, or that series, is following two friends. You have Safia, I think her name is, and she's a Truth Witch. And then you have Isolde, who I believe is a Blood Witch. And they're living in this kingdom. I think there's about to be like a war broken out of? A war is about to break out. I don't know why I said it like that. And I don't know. There's a Blood Witch. There's another Blood Witch trying to chase them because Safia stole some coins. I don't know, but so much happened. There's a Wind Witch. I don't know what's going on with him. His sister. I just have to do with water. There's an underground city. For a series that really, like, the books are not that long. I don't remember them being like chunky books. When I think back to it, I'm like, oh my God, I am so overwhelmed thinking about this book. So yeah, do you think it is worth reading whatever next book had just recently come out? It's got like a really pretty purple cover, if I remember correctly. Do you think it's worth it? And with that being said, do you think it's worth it to continue on with the series since apparently it's not over? I don't know if whatever book is supposed to come out next in the series is another like novella or whatever. I don't care enough to look into that, but you know what I'm trying to get at. Let me know. Is it worth it or should I abandon it? So this book here, this trilogy, I own all three. I read the first two books. I didn't read the third one. I will never probably get rid of these books because I think the covers are so pretty. So Ever the Hunted by Erin Summerall. This is beautiful. Okay, the second book is red and the third book is blue. I know that I will never get rid of this book because it is so pretty, and the other two books are also very pretty. I know that's not really that great. Why keep it if there's a possibility you don't read it? Don't ask me. We all do crazy things for the things we love, our hobbies. Anyway, I read this many years ago, and I feel like this is a retelling of some kind. I can't remember what it's supposed to be, but I think it's like, not Robin Hood. Is it Robin Hood? Something like that. It's like a combination of things, okay? I was about to say Friar Tuck. You know. A lute. What's that little like banjo old-timey thing? Like that type of time period. Okay, we're thinking castles. We're thinking King Arthur. That's what's happening here. That's the vibe. So it's a trilogy. I believe it's young adult. Very easy to get through. If I remember correctly, basically, young girl, her father was someone special to the king. And her father passed away. The kingdom is now under new management, you could say. And you're not supposed to poach in the king's forest. Either she does or someone tries to frame her. It's a whole thing. And honestly, I enjoyed it. But when I went to try to read the third book, I just wasn't in the mood. And I know that if I go to read the third one, I will have to restart the series. Now, again, it's young adult. It's really not going to be hard to get through this. I mean, come on. I feel like when you read young adult, like fantasy, it's really easy to like get through. That's just my opinion. But I want to know, has anybody actually finished this series? Is it worth reading next year and finally knocking it out? As I said, I will not be getting rid of this series. I really, really love the covers. But I mean, if I never finished it, it's really not going to be the end times. But is it a good enough story that it's worth finishing? Let me know. Okay, so this one is a little bit interesting for me. So, Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I think this was my first kind of like two into like a sci-fi situation, okay? And correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the first book and like a little bit of the second book was more YA feeling, and then as the series has progressed, it's felt a little bit more adult sci-fi. Not bad though. I don't know, it's just like some things just seem like easier to get through, and this, when I picked this up, was, how do I put it? It was like much like all of the other books I was reading at the time when I was really into young adult dystopian stuff. This is kind of like that, except it's sci-fi, you know, and we're in space. Okay, actually, let me put that out there. We're actually in space in this book. There's like, you know, spaceships and pew pew pew. Anyway, so I read the first 3 books in this series. I read Red Rising, Golden Sun, and Morning Star. There's a lot going on in this book, but basically, young guy named Darrow, he works on Mars. There's kind of like it's like you have people who, and I can't remember what they're like called, but like you have the reds, the golds, I don't fucking know, but like depending on where you are in this hierarchy, where he was, it's at the bottom. He was trying to get to the top because people at the top had killed his wife, and he was going to go undercover and F some people up. Really fun book to read, especially the first one. I don't know what it was about this, but this one was so fun to read, and I kept going and I kept going, but I stopped at Iron Gold. So my dilemma here is, I remember Morning Star, I felt like it kind of ended on a cliffhanger, so to speak, but not so much that like I have to run out and read Iron Gold. I still bought Iron Gold because I wanted to continue the series, but when I started to read it, I was like, oh my god, it's been so much time in between Morning Star and this one. I don't remember what's going on. I feel like everyone is so much older now. Someone has a child at this point. And I mean, we're spanning years. Like, this is a very like long journey that our main characters are going through. People get kidnapped, tortured. It's a whole thing. Is this worth finishing? Okay, I'm pretty sure it's just Iron Gold and Dark Age. And the nice thing is both of those are on Hoopla as an audiobook. And I think that if I actually went back and read this series all over again from the start, I don't think I'd have a problem reading this physical copy, but I probably want to change the format and listen to it as an audiobook. Is it worth it? I feel like the people that I followed back in the day who loved this series, they loved that series. Never heard anybody say that they hated it. You know, but at the same time, sometimes if you like read a series and you never pick it up ever again, you just remember those good thoughts. It's like, if you read it again, it might not be that great. So yeah, for those who maybe you were on the fence, do you think it's worth it? If you've reread this series, did it hit the way it did in the beginning for you? I'd love to know. And is this worth finishing? Please let me know in the comments. Next up, no one should be surprised, Furyborn. So I read this first book of the Imperium trilogy this year. For the most part, I did like this book. I was very excited to read the second book, and then I just kind of fell off of giving a shit, which makes me really sad. Once again, this is a series. I own all 3. I will probably never get rid of these books because I think the covers are very, very pretty. So I'm going to own them regardless. Does the series get better? I'd love to know. It's 2 different perspectives, 2 women thousands of years apart. You've got Riel and you have Eliana. And I don't want to give too much away because, but they're 2 queens. But in the very beginning, you're seeing Riel as a younger woman, coming into her own, getting some powers, becoming more important to this kingdom. Eliana is kind of like a thief who has a secret power that only few people know about. Kingdoms that are pretty much like a lot is going on. So as I said, this was an interesting book. I liked it. I started Kingsbane. I fell off. I do have the physical copy, but I got it as an audiobook. So is this worth finishing? I definitely want to see what ends up happening in the end, but there's this part of me that's like, is it really going to be that big of a deal if I never finish the series? So let me know. Let me know. You know, let me know what you guys think. Okay, so the next series, this one, I don't know. I am kind of on the fence about, because I loved the first book, but I don't know. So Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I loved this book when I first read it, and I still think that the first book is really, really good. This is Leia, Elias. Leia's a slave. Her brother is taken by the Empire, and she has to go undercover with the resistance group to hopefully discover what happened to him, but also try to take down the Empire. Elias is the son of like a commander of the Empire. He really does not agree with how oppressive the Empire is, and he kind of like, I think if I remember correctly, he kind of falls into the revolution somehow, or he figures out something. It's a lot. They cross paths and some stuff ensues. I really, really loved this book. And honestly, I actually would love to reread this book specifically, but the series, I just don't know. So, loved this book. Torch Against the Night is the second book, I believe. And that was good, although I was really disappointed in what happens with Elias's character. I feel like that was a common thing I started to see with some people. It's not that the book is bad. I just hate what happens to his character. It's not what I wanted. But that doesn't mean I'm going to put the book down. Then Reaper at the Gates came out, and I thought that this was a trilogy. So much like what always happens to me, like with Sight Witch, I believed that was going to be the second book. I was excited. It wasn't, and I think it just kind of took me out of like the whole thing. Reaper at the Gates was good, but it was essentially like filler. I believed that that was the final book, so I was all ready for it to be over, and it wasn't. It is a 4-book series, I believe, and I do think I own the 4th book. I think it's upstairs. But I know for a fact I have got to start from the beginning because I don't remember what's going on. I can't remember what his friend's name is that is in the army. I liked her, and from what I remember, she's like the main person that we follow in Reaper at the Gates, which I did like. I like her. I wish I could remember her name. All of that to say, should I reread this next year? Is it an ending that was good enough that's like, okay, put this at the top of your TBR for 2023, because I'll do it with this one, because I loved this first book. So let me know in the comments. I really want, I think I'm going to, I don't think this is going to be a series I abandon, but I feel like it's one where if I don't get like encouraged to do it, I might not ever finish it. And to be honest, I would like to see what happens for sure. Now this one is interesting. I remember absolutely nothing about this book, but I finished it, bought the second book, because I guess I liked it enough to finish it. I don't know. You know how I am. I just said I don't really know what the hell I'm doing half the time. But it is The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. I don't remember anything about this book. I honestly think that based on the length of it, which is like just under 500 pages, I probably skimmed a lot. I have a feeling that this was probably also very descriptive. It definitely has to do with magic. So I think this might be a duology. Is it worth it? Is it worth finishing? I know I would have to start all the way from the beginning. Maybe if I could get this as an audiobook, it might not be so bad, but did you read this? What are your thoughts? Is it worth finishing, or should I just chuck it? So now we're on to series I have not read yet. This one, I don't think I've ever mentioned it before. I'm pretty sure I did not put this in my video, like fantasy books that I haven't read yet. If I did, you're getting an update. I never fucking started it. I'm not sure about the second book. I'm pretty sure I probably put this one in there because it's adult fantasy. But Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, the Dark Artifices series, I really liked, and I get them mixed up all the time. So, oh my God, it's so, the font is so small. Oh my God. Oh my God. Infernal Devices? I think that's the one I like. I like Clockwork Angel, Prince, and Princess. That's the series I like. And I think that, if I remember correctly, obviously all of these worlds and all these characters, like, at some point come together. But I'm pretty sure that the Infernal Devices is, like, directly of this one. Like, this is like a daughter of someone from those books. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. I got this not because I'm a Cassandra Clare fan. I tried to read City of Bones. It was okay. I mean, all City of Bones, and then even though I liked the Infernal Devices, am I saying that right? Yeah, I think so. I'm telling you, this font is so small. I mean, I don't even know if I can you even see? You can. Either way, hopefully that focuses back on my face. It is so fucking small. Okay, yeah, Mortal Instruments is City of Bones. Don't let me tell you what my prescription is. It's pretty bad. I think you can tell. I think you can tell that my prescription is bad. But anyway, so I liked Infernal Devices. Immortal Instruments, not my favorite. Actually finished City of Bones, and that was it. I was like, I'm not really into this. It's young adult, and I think that a lot of young adult, it's like, the characters might be different, but I feel like I've read this before. They all kind of follow the same formula. Some just land with me better than others. And City of Bones did not, but Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess, those were good. I actually read those first. Anyway, so I'm not a Cassandra Clare fan. I just liked the covers, and I didn't realize how thick this fucking book is. It's over 500 pages, and I'm an idiot. And I was like, you know what? Hey, these spines, let me get the next two. So I have 3 of the books in this series. I think that I don't know how many there are. I mean, goddamn, look how many are in the gosh darn Mortal Instruments. There's 6 books, I think. There may be more. And then she's got all those other extra books. I don't know anything about them. I liked my little trilogy. Okay, I think that's why I liked Infernal Device, because it was 3 books. That was it. Maybe some little novellas over here, but I was fine with it. I can't ask the Cassandra Clare fans, okay? They're gonna say yes. I'm asking those of you who have read it, aren't like a huge fan, what are your thoughts? Is it worth really getting into this series? Like, I know that I could pick this up without having to reread Infernal Devices, although I would like to do that. And I would be fine. I would not have any issue. But look at how thick that shit is, and all 3 books are like that. And it's not just a trilogy. I'm pretty sure there's another book where the cover was very pretty, but I'm not gonna buy these in hardcover, so is it worth it? Is it worth it? Please give me your honest opinion. I don't think the audiobooks are available on Hoopla, and for that series, I'm not going to buy another format of it. I'm going to stick with that, because if I don't like it, I don't want to just have another copy somewhere else. So that's on me. And as I said, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in my adult fantasy series, but what's the Faithful and the Fallen? I know. Again, I have all 4 books in the series because I like to torture myself and own the whole series of something I've never started. I mean, this is 600 pages long. I feel like I've heard many people talk about how much they liked this series. So I've never heard anybody say they didn't like it. But should it be a priority? Like, I know I need to start it at some point, but should I start like the first book in December so I can like kind of keep on a monthly thing? Because once I start it, I'm going to continue. I'm not going to let myself be like how it is with Furyborn. I'm going to continue the series. But man, like, this is what has made me feel like I know for a fact that I'm no longer going to buy physical adult fantasy books anymore. I just can't do it. This is intimidating, but you know what's not intimidating? Listening to it as an audiobook. And I managed to finish a lot of audiobooks that were adult fantasy that I really liked. So this is not one that I don't think I'll get this as an audiobook if I have an Audible credit. I think I'm just going to physically read it. Oh, that sound. Sharp. But yeah, I think I can. What are your thoughts? Is the series really, really good? Again, I've never heard anybody say it's bad, but is it worth picking up right away? Thanks for sticking with me through the video. I would love to know your thoughts. What should be priority and what should be just wash my hands of you, I'm done. I'm not finishing you. Are there any that you DNF'd? I would love to know. Please tell me the reasons why you DNF'd it, because they might be the same reasons. Yeah. Wish me luck. And honestly, my TBR, it's going okay. It could be better, but I am kind of chiseling away at those adult fantasy books that I own. Honestly, I think one of them is not going to get read and they will end up in my unhaul pile, and I cannot wait to film that for you guys. But that's going to be towards the end of the year. That's going to be towards December. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please like the video. If you like it, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on other social medias, Instagram, Twitter. I don't know what's going on with that. People keep saying it's going to just disappear tomorrow. I don't know. I hope not, because I personally like Twitter, but a fool now has control of it, and I don't want to get into a tangent about how I don't like that person. So we'll move on. So I guess for the time being, if you want to follow me on Twitter, please do before it just goes up in flames, even further than it already has. So thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Goodbye.